don't you love the scenario wherein two giant corporations fighting over each other and the fans are stuck in the middle trying to figure out which way it's gonna go, and we don't really care as long as we get what we want, which would be Spider-Man continuing in the MCU, which is exactly what's happening. Now we have the exact details on which studio caved and what the future holds for this partnership, so let's get into that. And as always, before we get into this, thank you guys for watching, and we do offer extra content here for members. You guys can check that out in the join button down below. Gaming, podcasts, and various other things. Okay, so Spider-Man is a big deal. If you guys follow the numbers, Spider-Man action figures, merchandise for Spider-Man, is the biggest in the superhero genre. He outsells everybody. It's a huge margin, and naturally you would want a piece of that pie. That seems like that's what Sony wanted. As we know, when it came to the film side, Marvel Studios was getting 5% of the box office total of every Spider-Man film. Sony was not willing to budge past that. Disney wanted more. Well, now we know exactly what they've settled on, and it's 25% going in Disney's favor. So Sony caved here. This is an increase of 500%. So just think of it this way. Just before we do any of the breakdown of box office totals and cuts or anything, let's say there's $100 million in profit on the film. Marvel Studios gets 25%. 25 million, Sony keeps 75. Pretty good deal, right? Considering the MCU made Spider-Man his first billion-dollar hit. I don't know how people are going to argue against this. I just don't know. Like, he's the most popular today than he's ever been before, between video games, comics, cartoons, and the films. So yeah, Disney had the bargaining power, and clearly Sony agreed. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, how about those toys? Well, Sony gets nothing. It's going to remain the exact same. It's all in Disney's favor. And you have to understand, this was going to go this way, and nobody was going to budge on the Disney side. It was going to have to be Sony that meets them somewhere in the middle, and that's exactly what happened. Now, is this a fair deal? Depends on how you look at it. I would say, you know what? I'm indifferent about this one, honestly, because, again, Spider-Man was saved by the MCU. Had they continued the TASM universe, it would not be making $1 billion. You know that just by looking at the numbers. So Marvel Studios delivered the first ever $1 billion Spider-Man film, and Sony's biggest one. So even if they give them that 25% cut, it's still a more profitable film than any other Spider-Man film before it. There's really nothing here, right? Like, it's a win-win scenario for Sony, even with a bigger cut going to Disney. So it's an interesting contract. Definitely favors Disney, but then again, Disney is willing to put Spider-Man in the MCU to begin with. So, yeah, you know, it's their time. It's Kevin Feige's time taken away from the MCU. So, you know, pay the man what he's worth, because, well, he's going to be worth more now, considering he's going to be doing Star Wars as well. Yeah, so how do you guys feel about this one? I've expressed my feelings here.